We are here today in Kirknewton in Northumberland. There's a visitor centre here which is behind me, and that's where we're parked. I'll put the postcode in the description, but we're just going to get started on this walk. It's going to be the Hethpool Goats walk. So the Hethpool Goats is a herd of wild landrace, what's called landrace goats. So they're a wild herd, completely wild. They're not tended by any farmers or vets or anything like that. They do have a research group that's interested in sort of keeping an eye on them. So some of them are tagged, but they're not what's called they're what's called an unimproved breed. So they're an ancient breed that came over with humans. They were domesticated, but maybe thousands of years ago. There's a Mesolithic fort on Yeavering Bell, which is a hill over there. That might be part of it. Actually, I think it's the next one over. So that's how far back they go. One of the rumours or legends of the Hethpool Goats is that the monks, when they left Holy Island, found the goats too difficult to herd together and keep together when they were walking, so they left them behind. So that's potentially the story of how they got here. There's a number of other breeds of wild goats elsewhere in the country, similar to the Hethpool goats, but this particular herd is unique to the Cheviot Hills. They only occupy some of the hillsides around Yeavering Bell and East of Tor and West of Tor. So they're very elusive creatures. We're not guaranteed to see any of them at all on this trip. We're not guaranteed to see any goats at all, because they, like I say, they're pretty well camouflaged and they know where the secluded spots are. There's a peak over there with a cairn of some sort or a monument on it. These are just domesticated sheep. So we'll keep walking. I've got a walking route mapped out which takes us to Hethpool Linn, which is a waterfall. It's the first stop on the walk, and then we go into St Cuthbert's Way, which is an old walking route, which again goes back to the times of Holy Island. And then we'll go, like I say, onto the slopes. East of Tor is one of the lower slopes, and West of Tor as well. And then we'll make our way around to Yeavering Bell, which, depending on the weather, it looks like it's nice and sunny. It's probably not quite so pleasant up the top of the hills, but we might go up to the top of Yeavering Bell and see what it's like up there. There's an ancient hill fort at the top, so it should be interesting. I should say that although the weather looks sunny, the airstream is coming down from the Arctic at the minute. So it was 4 degrees when I set off this morning. It's 8 degrees now in the middle of the day. We're just walking past some of these buildings. That one there looks like an old building that's been extended. This one, not sure, maybe an old schoolhouse. But we'll keep going because we've got some ground to cover. And the next stop that we're headed to is Hethpool Linn. This bridge is an ancient bridge by the look of it, quite old. Beautiful river down there. some of the more stony areas of river. It's quite low really because there's been such a dry summer. So in coming out of Kirknewton, you'll come across this sign showing you the footpaths, Hethpool 1 3/4. So we're going to keep on going up here and follow the trail to Hethpool Linn. Looks really good with a bit of sunshine on the hillside. We've been quite lucky with the weather today because it's been rather inclement the last week. So we've just got a nice clear day today. Some buildings up there on the side next to the trees. Beautiful. We'll keep on walking. The sheep seem a bit puzzled. I don't think they see many people up this part of the world. I'm not running too fast. Ooh, what have we got here though? Got some big cows in this field with some calves. So that's a recipe for disaster. Might need to give these cows a wide berth. Let's just see what's on the map. Apparently the river crossing is down there. So that doesn't seem to be very good, does it? I might be used to it. People come here all the time. But they might also be very protective of the calves. Thing is, I can't actually see a river crossing over there. It just looks like a river. So if I have to walk through the river, I don't fancy that anyway, because my boots are waterproof, but they're not that waterproof. We'll walk up here and see if there's another crossing a bit further up. I'll see if we can get a better view of where we're meant to be going, because this looks like a well-trodden path down here. So, what's a rabbit or a hare? So we'll see if we can work out what to do here. Might be that we have to go back down to that bit where there is a river crossing on the map. Doesn't say what kind of river crossing it is. It just says river crossing. It might be that it's a ford when the water's low. It might be too high to cross. In which case I'll have to look at plan B. Well, I've just looked at the map and it doesn't look like on the map there is anywhere else to cross up there. I can't really get down to the river's edge up here. So I'm going to have to go back down to where these cattle are. I'm a bit wary of them because they have calves with them. And they can be dangerous when they're protecting the calves. So, last thing I want is to get trampled by cows trying to get to a river that I couldn't cross anyway. But maybe I can sneak past this way. Hopefully walking away from it will give it the idea that I'm not a threat. Maybe we can go through this way. There we go. So this is meant to be a river crossing. What kind of river crossing is it? It's marked on the map as a river crossing. Just looks like a river to me. Maybe those stones when it's low is enough to get across. It's a beautiful place. Very nice place to be, but is it a river crossing? I don't think so. It's just a river. Unless I take my boots and socks off. I don't think I'm going to get over this. So there is a way to walk round. I just have to go back over that bridge and walk a bit further along the path, and I can rejoin the trail further up on the other side of the river. Yeah, if I'd had a towel or something with me to dry my feet, I probably would have taken the boots and socks off and just waded through. It wasn't that deep. Could have easily made it across. Might have hurt my feet and it would have been cold for the rest of the walk, so I thought best to just walk around. It's only like a 5-10 minute detour, maybe 10-15 minutes, but I think it's going to make the rest of the walk more comfortable, not dipping my feet in that freezing cold water, so probably best. Okay, so we're back onto a walking path that goes through this sheep field on the other side of the river now, and this looks like it's going to join up to where we were going to be anyway, so it's totally fine. Sheep, don't see many people around here, but they're not that scared, I don't think. I'm not after you, sheep, I'm just walking. Nice view of the river from here. I think that's the bit of river that's meant to be the crossing, just past the quiet bit there. So this part is where we're meant to be joining up with the trail that we were on before the river crossing. That wasn't a crossing. That's just down there, but as you can see, it's quite a drop down to that part. And I just need to make sure I'm in the right bit, which I'm not at all sure I am. Right, I think we're on the right side of the fence. We've just got to negotiate down this steep-sided trail, down this bit of the valley here to get into the college burn, which is down there. So we'll try and negotiate this fairly steep, thorny side, which is covered in bracken, without falling foul to any of the dangers on this slope. So there it is, there's where we were before, look, where the cows were, just up there. We'll keep going this way now. There's some more sheep and cows up ahead, but I don't think there's got to be any particular danger to us. We can just keep on walking on this path alongside the college burn over there. And there's a bit of a stretch to the Hethpool Linn, which is the waterfall. It's the next sort of highlight on the trail. But keep watching and we'll see if we can find the goats as well. These sheep are fairly peaceful. They've only just noticed me there when I've spoken. Not too bothered about us. As long as the cows don't have calves, they're normally okay as well. Magnificent feast, isn't it? Yes, you are. Got a bit of a hill to go up here, I think. Oh, there are some calves over there though. Gonna have to have my wits about me here. Sheep jumping up as though it's scared isn't a good thing. One animal scared is all of us animals spooked, but hopefully I can skirt around the edge and go relatively unnoticed. We're going through this undergrowth now. This is exactly the kind of terrain that you would expect to see ground nesting birds like pheasants. So I'll keep the camera rolling for a bit, see if we can come across any of those. It's a little bit soft underfoot in places, but still pretty good going really, considering we're at the back end of October. It's really rather nice out here today. Risen quite a bit above the College Valley now, all the way down there. It's autumn season right now and the trees are all dropping the leaves, and this one here is an oak tree which is dropping all of its acorns, loads of them. One just nearly fell on my head, so I thought I'd take a shot of the acorns. So there's an aircraft going overhead there, towing behind it a glider which is being released over there. I think there's a glider club somewhere near here. I saw a glider on the motorway on the wheel, on the back of a trailer. Must be that one, do you think? Who knows? It's banking round, coming back. So the path's coming down a bit now, dropping down into the College Burn Valley again. While I've got my iPhone out, I may as well take some shots of the hill. I think that's the Bell up there. And this is the trail that we're on. Quite sort of overgrown. Presence of a stile, a well-maintained stile with a Northumberland National Park badge on it. Just make sure you know you're on the right track. It's always welcome to see. So we'll just keep going along this bit, and hopefully we're not too far away from Hethpool Linn now. Yes, just beyond that little stile that we came over. This is Hethpool Linn, the waterfall that we've been looking for on the College Burn. The College Burn is the little river that runs through the College Valley. There's a bridge that goes over it by the look of it, so you can get a better look from the top. Or maybe it's a place to cross, or both. So we'll keep walking and see what the next thing is that we can come across. It's a magnificent place to be with the sound of the rushing water. That's that gully where the bit was that we just saw just down there. It's like this path here leads up to another trail which is a shortcut if you wanted to cut out the Hethpool part of the wall. But we need to go down there anyway, so we'll probably go back onto the trail we were on, and instead of cutting it out, we don't want to cut out any potential goat sightings, so let's keep going. What a quaint little bridge. Is it safe? Yeah, safe enough. Some horses in this field. Got their jackets on now, so it's a bit of a chill in the air. Don't really want to get behind one of these things. Get a bit of a hoof. Come round this way. think this might be Hethpool. There's a building over there. I think it's a bed and breakfast, that one. We'll see what else there is up here. This is a funny little thing. It's a bridge just over this boggy part. Wouldn't really call it a stream or a burn. There's a butterfly. A bit later in the season for butterflies. Buzzard up there. I think it's a buzzard. It's a very big bird. Soaring around. Looks like it's probably a buzzard to me. Now turn back the other way and heading back towards Wester Tor and Easter Tor, the two big slopes. So that was Hethpool. We didn't actually go into Hethpool, but it's over there somewhere. Just a few buildings, not much there anyway. So we're really on the stretch where we need to start looking for these wild goats. There's a helicopter going over now. Not quite sure what kind. Can't see any goats yet, but we'll keep looking. You never know what might come up. We're kind of in the trees a bit here, but still looking out for the goats, which sometimes are on that hill. It does look like ideal habitat for wild goats, but I can't see any at the moment. Just stones. Another buzzard up there, you can hear it. There we go. This bit of the path here is, I believe, an ancient road known as St. Cuthbert's Way. So St. Cuthbert was the monk, lived on Holy Island, and he's the one buried in Durham Cathedral, or one of them, I think. Looks like a road that's been here for a very long time. Scanning across the hillside to see if we can spot any goats. No. Looks like they're remaining elusive at the moment, but we'll keep going. So the National Park Authority, Northumberland National Park, look after this footpath, and it says the footpath ahead has been improved by a method known as soil reversal. The surface needs a settling period and will be sown with grass seed this spring. Until the surface is properly established, it would be helpful if horses were not used along this route. Thank you for your cooperation. Let's see what it's like. This path that we're walking on now, St. Cuthbert's Way, it's probably in the order of about 1500 years old. And there's a lot of stones making up this road, which is quite a big pathway really, considering somebody would have had to lay all the stones on it. But it's stood the test of time and it's still being used now. It's a beautiful place to be and probably the ideal habitat for a wild goat, but it's pretty inhospitable when the sun goes behind a cloud. It's a bit chilly today, so I can only imagine what it's like for a goat. Next thing on this trail is called Tor Lee House. That's what we're coming to now. It's down there. We're going to keep on this part of the trail, which is still the Cuthbert's Way, and we'll keep walking down until we get to the turn off for Yeavering Bell, which I think might be the big hill over there. This part of the walk involves turning off this lovely road and going up there, up towards Yeavering Bell. This is the part that we need to turn. It's up this bit, and as you can see over there, there's a path sort of cut out of the heather or bracken, which is the way that we need to go, I think. So it's getting a bit windy and a bit inhospitable. We're starting to feel it a bit softer underfoot. The going's getting heavier, but we're not going to see any goats if we stay on the low ground. So well, time to go higher, I think. There's the warning sign on this one. Cows with calving field can be very dangerous. I can't actually see any at the moment. Maybe they've been taken out. Oh, this looks interesting. Might have to jump it and find a narrow bit and jump. There we go. Starting to get a bit higher now. We need to just cross over this thing and walk up on this side of the wall. That's where the national park's got the right of way. So we'll go a bit further up here and then we'll cut across left, because really where we're going is up that big hill there. We've got to go down this dip now over towards Yeavering Bell, so it's down to go back up. Just a little sheep track through the bracken. It's pretty challenging terrain, but we'll keep going. Oh no, what have we got here? Looks like some unlucky sheep. We're down in the bottom of that valley now, and as you can hear, it's a babbling brook. You can see the babbling brook, but also there's some way markers which look like they're being used for a run or something like that, to show that you're on the right track. So I'm just going to skip over this stream, and now we've got an uphill section, quite a big uphill section, that's going to get us up to that next slope. It's a magnificent view down there from up on this low, relatively low slope. Can't wait to see what it's going to be like at the top. It's starting to get very exposed up here now. Probably hear it on the microphone, the wind noise. We're only about halfway up the first peak, but it's a nice clear path and the skies are beautiful, so we'll keep going. Stunning views up here. Starting to get really exposed up here now. It's still relatively pleasant given how windy and inhospitable it could be, but yeah, I'm starting to feel the cold. It's Arctic wind coming down from the north today, and it's really quite a biting wind when you're right at this very top. I think this is the peak. This is the very top of the hillfort now, looks like. And there's a cairn thing up here, so check that out. As you can probably tell, it's ridiculously windy up here, so I've tried to park myself at the most sheltered spot at the other side of this cairn, if you can call it that. I brought a cup of coffee, a flask of coffee, so I'm going to sit here and have a nice warm drink and then admire the view. I'll take a few shots of what you can see up here and splice them in. and then we'll begin the descent. I also had the foresight to bring with me a little bite to eat, so I can tuck into that now as well. It's the spot. Right, it's starting to get very, very unpleasant up here. I can't wait to get down off this mountain now. But first of all, I'm going to go down to this old wall and have a closer look and see what's left of the old fort. This is kind of one of the main things I wanted to look at when I come up here, is what a Mesolithic fort actually looks like, and try and imagine what it would have been like to be one of the inhabitants of this hill fort all those years ago. As I say, these walls would have been 2.5 meters tall when they were first built. Just a pile of stones now. The hill fort walls go all the way around the perimeter of the hill. I'm guessing the stones behind me from these crags would have been what was used to build the wall. They wouldn't have had to quarry it and bring it here. They would have just used what was available from these hills. Right, I've had enough of this now. I think we should go down again. So I'm going to try and find the trail that leads us down the mountain. Can't actually see where it is yet. So the next thing on the itinerary is Yeavering, the village of Yeavering, which is down there in the valley. Once we get past the Yeavering village, the next thing is the ancient burial ground of the Northumbrian kings, known as Ad Gefrin. Now, there's a museum in Wooler called Ad Gefrin, which has fairly recently been built, but this is the actual Ad Gefrin we'll be coming to later. So keep watching for that. We're approaching Yeavering village now. It looks a little more than just a couple of houses, really. Just at the bottom in the valley. A farmhouse and a couple of buildings. But it's known as Yeavering village. Old Yeavering cottages. Nice old buildings. I don't really know what they're used for. Just people's houses, I think. The path behind me is what leads up to Ad Gefrin, the ancient king's burial ground, Northumbrian kings. So let's go and see what it is. Take a shot of that and you can pause it if you're interested. The ancient town of Ad Gefrin was discovered in 1949 when it was a particularly hot summer that year and they noticed it from the air. This looks like a modern construction of some sort, something you can access from the road. And some more boards here. Let's see what this one says. The history of Ad Gefrin. Got all of the the dates on there goes back an awful long way to 580 AD, when there was a settlement here. For over 5,000 years, people have been drawn to this prominent plateau of sand and gravel. They came for religious ceremonies to bury their dead and meet their rulers. At this place was Gefrin, royal township of the 7th century Anglo-Saxon kings of Northumbria. Here the missionary Paulinus in AD 627 instructed the people in Christianity for 36 days and baptised them in the River Glen close by. I know what you're thinking. Where's the goats? We didn't see any goats today, but we did see an ancient burial ground. We did see Yeavering Bell, the ancient hill fort. So I guess that's gonna have to do. It's a 15-minute walk back along this road now, back to the car in Kirknewton. So I'll get that done. And that will be the end of this video. If you've enjoyed accompanying me up Yeavering Bell today, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be doing some more of these, so keep tuned.